A ghost is getting ice.
Ice maker going in the background. There we are. Well, welcome everybody to another installment of Paranormal Q&A with Jack Kenna and Carly Hall.
Hi.
How's everybody's Tuesday going today? So, my sister just got back from a long trip up to Maine. Literally just got home. So, he said it did nothing but pouring rain up there. Hey, Bob Burnell, I see Bob's on. How you doing tonight? So, it was a long trip. Literally just got home. It's like an 8-hour drive, one way. So, long trip.
Yeah,
Again,
very
did
long
nothing
trip.
but rain up in Maine. So, but they're home safe and sound. So, that's all that matters. It's all good. Everything at our camp is doing good. So, now, anyway, they had a few problems, but it's all doing good now. Hey, there's Carl Mitchell. I see Carl's on. How you doing, Carl? Yes, we'll see you in Gettysburg, Carl. Yeah, that's the biggest, I think, thing we got coming up right now. Oh, there's our friend Evie, all the way from Colorado. How you doing, Evie? Barry March, how you doing out there? So I got to see Evie not too long ago because I was out in Colorado visiting my daughter out there and made a little side trip for a day, and we went and visited, and it was good to see her because she used to live out this way, and then she moved out there about, a year and a half ago? Something like that.
Yeah,
it's been a little while. Right. Time flies. Yeah, about a year ago. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. I see Barry Martz out there. Chris Sanders, how you doing out there, Chris? Good to see you.
Hey, Bob. Bob Burnell is on.
Yep. Yeah, he was our first one to pop on tonight. Bonnie Poole's out there. How you doing, Bonnie? Bob Maloney, there's Bob. How's he doing there, Bob? There's people all from our Carl. And you see Bonnie, Bob, all people from our class last year, paranormal class.
It's a great group of people.
Chris says, here are 2 people I would love to work with more.
Aw, dang.
Who's that, Chris? Which 2 people? This busted, Chris. This busted. Thank you. Well, there's a lot of people in the thing. I don't know. Maybe he's talking about one of the 2 of them and not us. I don't know. He's talking about us. I know that. Thank you, Chris. Love to work with you, too. We got to get together more. We will be seeing you this year. I know that. So, and I know you were watching Carly the other day, and
oh gosh, yeah. I don't know if that actually caught.
She mentioned your name out there.
I hope it wasn't anything bad. I'll tell you that. I don't know if it caught. I panicked because I thought I canceled the live, and then I was talking to Helena about how, for those of you who didn't watch, Helena and I tried to do a live, short live appearance on Facebook.
Yep.
Trying to describe a new project that we're going to be working on, and wanting to get your guys' feedback. And so it wasn't working, of course, and we tried so many different things that would normally work, and it wasn't working. So it just wasn't meant to be that day.
Yeah, they're just having connection problems, that's all.
And I had thought that I hit end the live show.
Yeah.
And I clicked the button, and I turned to Helena, and I didn't see the computer, and I go... And I was just talking about how unprofessional it was, like kind of joking around, like, yeah, I gotta get my stuff together. And I turned to Helena and I said, it's really embarrassing when people like Chris Sanders you see Chris Sanders pop up and to go watch your live video and it's not working. And I turned around and I didn't end the live show. It was like, are you sure you want to end the live? Or like, do you want to save your live? And I was like, oh my God. So, I'm sorry, Chris. It wasn't an insult. It was a compliment. You do great work. I just got caught, like, kind of fangirling a little bit, and it kind of embarrassed me, so Helena thought it was hilarious, so.
And Sam, I don't know what you're talking about. Paranormal spelled perfectly correct in that bottom crawler. I don't know what you're talking about, Sam.
I didn't mention anything. I keep saying to mention something every show, and I forget. That is the normal way to say
Spell
paranormal.
perfectly right. Look at the crawler. Spelled perfectly right down there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We won't say why. It's suddenly is spelled correctly. Thanks, Sam. It's good to see you, Sam.
Now it's spelled correctly. Totally spelled correctly.
No,
It was from the beginning.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, Sam.
You're the first one to bring it up, Sam, which means at least you read it.
Just stay clam.
Probably nobody really looks at it. Stay
No
clam.
one will notice.
Stay clam.
Stay clam. No one will notice.
There was a spelling error. It was in my book, which was marked as a spelling error because it was spelled correctly. So don't worry, it's not in the book. If you have my book, Hauntings, Ghosts and Demons, it's not in there anymore. It was in one of the first couple versions that we were still reviewing. But yeah. Stay clam. Stay clam.
Stay clam. I want that on like a poster, like, you know, those like keep calm and.
I gotta put on my gravestone. I'll put on my gravestone someday.
Your epitaph. Yeah.
Yeah, on the backside or something. Like, just remember, always stay clam. And just do what you gotta do. Only
a few will know that reference, and it'll be awesome.
Oh, Kenneth Harrison has a question for us. He says, what's your opinion on spirit boxes? I know we've probably covered this before, but I don't think we did for Kenneth, so we can cover that again. I use them. I do like them. I get sick of them after a short period of time from all the static noise. Of course, there's the new ones now, the Wonder Boxes and all that stuff that don't do that. They've got a filter built into them. But I like them. I use them. I find they can give you results. Yeah, I've had it. You know, it's just another tool, like any tool. I don't overdo it. If I don't seem to be getting too much results with other things, I'll pull out the SB7 spirit box and use that. So yeah, I like them. Worthwhile having. I mean, they're inexpensive enough now. Pretty much anybody can get one. Actually, they even have apps that you can download that are for that now. That actually work. Because all it's doing is scanning like a radio through your phone. So you can even download an app for that now, and it works basically just like the Spirit Box does. So I mean, it's just scanning radio stations through your phone instead. So yeah, worthwhile using. If you're thinking of picking one up, SB7 is a good one. I don't go overboard with the SB11, but you can do that too. I mean, it's just got two systems. It's AM and FM to scan through rather than just one. So, you know, everything has its advantages. Yeah, I like them. What about you, Carly?
I like them. You know, as someone who does some of the evidence review, I would recommend not really doing it for long periods of time to, you know, kind of go sparingly on the listener's ears. Yeah. So,
I don't do more than about 30 minutes with it.
Yeah. But I've found that actually in some places it kind of draws the spirits over because they almost prefer to use that.
We did have that at the
Lookout House.
Lookout House, yes, thank you. Lookout House Bed and Breakfast down in Pennsylvania. Yeah, that our friends own down there, Steve and Pamela Berry. So a very, very haunted location, by the way. If you ever wanted to check a place out, that's a great place to check out. You can even just stay there overnight. We did, and had somebody who I couldn't see walk through our room. So very interesting. Yes, we could hear the footsteps. I think that was residual though, because it was boot steps on a wooden floor and it's a carpeted room. So I do think that was residual, but it was very interesting. It went on. It lasted. We heard it come across the attic, which is right above our room that we had, and came down the stairway because the entrance to the attic was in that room, the Americana room, and heard it come across the attic, down the stairs, open and close the door, which never opened and closed actually because I had a camera running that night. Because I had heard that, and then walked through the room. So we had all that. I believe that was all residual stuff. So Sam asked us a question. He goes, so I saw you guys are going to Selma Mansion in September. Any experiences in that area? I've never been to it before, Sam. I was supposed to go a couple of years ago. I ended up getting really sick. I couldn't make it. So I personally have never been to the Selma Mansion. I'm actually looking forward to going. Um, I hear there's a lot of different activity there, so from other people. So I'm looking forward to seeing it and going there. And I know Carly is too. And
Oh yeah, it'll be my first time
yep, there you
going
go.
there.
So so it should be interesting. Uh, I have heard tell wink wink from someone wink Sam. Uh, well, I have heard it before anyway. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit last night. Um, and that's in a little bit of a rough area. But actually, a lot of places are, interestingly enough. I mean, yeah, if you look at what you call it down in Pennsylvania, the jail down there. Anyway, just escapes my mind off the top of my head. That's a pretty rough area down there where that is. Um, but and the place we were going to go in Tennessee was in a pretty rough area. Matter of fact, they heard gunshots that night. That was another one we it was during the coronavirus stuff. We didn't make it down. Um, I wasn't. I think I was not feeling good at that time either. Anyways, but we didn't make it down for that, and that was a kind of a rough area. So interesting enough, a lot of seemingly the most haunted locations are in some of the roughest areas, which you got to wonder if some of these places are haunted, not necessarily just by the spirits of those buildings and stuff, but perhaps people who have been murdered or things in those areas that end up you know coming out because you're trying to reach out to spirit and stuff, and we don't know totally how it works.
Yeah, I mean it happens over here in Albany,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it can happen anywhere.
Regina has a question for us too. It says, "Do we practice automatic writing? What are your thoughts?" I do not practice automatic writing. I've never tried it. I don't think it would work for me. Supposedly, you're allowing the spirits to channel through you to give messages and stuff. So I've never really delved into that end of it. What about you, Carly? Did you ever have anything like that? Did you ever try anything like that?
I had one instance where I accidentally did it. Like I just kind of zoned out while I was doing something, kind of just spaced out, and it happened. I remember. But no, I don't really prefer that method of channeling spirit because I don't like the idea of them controlling that through. Like I would like to have complete control.
Yeah,
Over
I think
my body.
that's what they're doing. But some people say they're just letting the information come in.
Yeah.
So not necessarily being taken over, but or channeling, but you're just letting the information flow through from your spirit guide. So I mean, there's different theories on that. Now it happened to you, you said. So what was your situation where it kind of happened to you?
I don't know where I put it, but I was doing a list of school supplies for college, for architecture school when I attempted it the last time.
Yeah.
And as I was writing down the things, I was just kind of zoning out, not really thinking, and I ended up actually writing in my in my dad's handwriting, and he's passed already. He passed away in 2015. And you can see the change. And wrote a couple things that didn't really make sense down on it, like just random words that were not what I was reading. And it was kind of just like a way of saying, "Hey, I'm here." I was stressing out about money, and so that was, I think, his way of saying, "Hey, I got your back. I'm here."
So it was kind of a positive thing to happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I took it as a positive thing.
Yeah. And Sam, who's also a very good investigator friend of ours, a very good friend of ours, says he prefers the SB7 over the SB11. Going back to that for a second, I kind of agree with that. I actually do prefer the SB7 myself. So it's a good piece of equipment. Sam also says he wants to do the Lookout House. Yeah, Sam, you should come down with us. We should make plans to go down. It's a really haunted location. I mean, it's there's a lot going on there. It's a really cool place as well, and it's a really nice bed and breakfast as well. But we should make plans. We should all go down and hang out maybe we can get Ellen to go again. Ellen went with us the first time we were down there. We were investigating it for our friends down there, and so we had the whole place to ourselves for a couple days, and we had a lot of experiences there. A lot of experiences.
Even Ellen, who never has experiences or rarely does, had
Yeah,
experiences there.
yeah. She had some stuff which I also think was residual. Sound of a chair being pulled out at night, and next day she tried to show us what was going on. She's pulling the chair, and she pulls it again, makes no noise because it's got felt padding underneath the legs in the dining room where it's all hardwood floor. They put the felt on them so it wouldn't scratch the floor, but she heard the chairs being pulled out. So that's another, I think, was a residual sound. Yeah.
It was so funny
Very
because she was
interesting.
like going through every piece of furniture, moving it, trying to get it, but
And
like every
finally,
single
Pam goes,
furniture had
we have
felt padding
felt
on it.
on the bottom of all of them. She goes, no, you can't. One of them has to have something. It was funny. It
It
was
was funny.
funny. So, well, everybody wants to talk about SB7 tonight. So, well, they're all putting in their 2 cents, which is good. This is what this is about. We share our ideas, we share our comments. The show is always about you guys out there who listen and watch the show. And this is why we love to get you to share your information. Barry March says, I have SB7, SB11. I do prefer the SB7 over the SB11 too. My laser kind of gave up the ghost on the SB11. Oh, I didn't know it had a laser on it. I don't own an SB11, but I have used them, and I didn't never realized it had a laser on it. It
That's
was just
interesting.
a laser. It's just a laser pointer now. Oh, so okay, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. The thing gave out. I didn't know that about it, Barry. Maybe there's different versions and stuff. Now, everybody's. You guys are all saying you prefer the SB7 over the SB11. Tell us why. Why do you prefer the SB7 over the SB11? I know my own reasons for it, but I want to hear your guys' reasons. I want to hear from Sam and Barry. Why do you guys prefer that SB7 over the SB11? Since you guys own both or have used both, I mean, I don't own both, but I've used both, and I know why I prefer it. But I'd like to hear your guys' opinion. And a matter of fact, if you like, I'll even will attempt to bring you guys on here one at a time to give your opinion as to why you prefer it. If you'd like, let me know, and I can message you the link to come on with us. Just post in the thing that you want me to send you the link, and I will do that. All right, and we'll have you on because this is how our show works. It's random. When we don't have a guest, we can make one.
Exactly.
We don't always have guests. We're a little bit different. We don't always have guests because sometimes something like this comes up, and I like to be able to just say, "Hey," and invite somebody on, and just talk about what you think. So again, if you'd like to, just post it. I haven't gotten down to your post yet, but once I see it. Sam says even Lizzie Borden B&B is in a rough area too. Yeah, it's true. It's in a rough area. See, all these haunted locations, many of them are there. Another place we're going to be doing this year, Carly and I, is the oh my God, the Heldeman Mansion down in Bainbridge, Pennsylvania. I had to think for that for a minute. I actually had to look it up for a quick second. So we're going to be doing that one this year too. That's October 3rd. We're going to be down in Bainbridge doing the event down there. Carly, read Keith Harrison's. No, he's got a long one there.
Sure.
I haven't read it yet, but go ahead and read it.
Yeah. I was at Gettysburg recently, and I think I have found a little boy on the triangular field, maybe a drummer boy, but I am trying to find the best device as he was very communicative for almost 15 minutes. He was going in and out on my spirit box in our short conversation, but did not get much on my recorder, which was synced at the same time. I really want to go back to the same location with possibly more equipment.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely want to go. We'll be going back to there. Hannah Darling also has a question if you'd like, or she's making a, I don't know if it's a question or a statement. I didn't read the whole thing, but go ahead and read that. And then if it's in a question, we'll address it.
It's like
Sam, I'll send you the link in 2 seconds here.
Okay. I have activity going on in my house and have experienced occurrences such as knocking, my infant son's swing turning on by itself, and whispers over the baby monitor coming through. I do not feel threatened, but my family members are concerned with the frequency of the occurrences.
Very cool. Right. So that's interesting. At least you're not afraid of it. Usually, if you're not afraid of it, it means that there's probably nothing bad going on there, so you're good. Um,
And you got to go with your gut in that
you got to go with
situation.
your
You
gut. Yeah,
know,
you do have to go with
you
your gut.
have a baby, you got your mother's instinct. You know, that's it's very sharp. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that if you are not feeling threatened, that it's most likely, just
Yeah, and if nobody's being harmed by the activity, if you're not being um, scratched or hit, or if there's nothing really threatening about it. I mean, I know you say the swing turns on by itself. Maybe somebody wants to help with care for the baby.
yeah. Or it could be another little kid. You never know. They love those light shows, the little kids, the lights and the sounds and the. That's one thing that I learned at the oh gosh, the Hinsdale House was when we had an event there and someone brought motion detection cameras. And I think, and the spirits actually used those motion detection cameras more than they used our other equipment because they just liked the way that it moved and sounded and lit up. It was really funny and very interesting because we experimented with that too, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it is. All right, so I think we're gonna be bringing Sam on in a minute. Okay, he's ready. All right, I'm just gonna tell him. Okay, just click the link I send you, Sam. If you don't have it, I'll send you again. Actually, right now, I'm gonna send it to you again, Sam. Just click that link, follow the instructions, and we'll see you on in just a little bit. And oh, there you are. Yeah, I see you. Well, you're not on yet. You're not on yet, but I'll bring you on in a minute. I'm getting some feedback though. Oh, Sam, turn down if you got your volume turned up. Turn it down a bit because I'm hearing myself in the background. That's all right. Oh, I can hear you fine, but I hear myself in the background. Yeah, go ahead and use those. Yeah, yeah. That way I won't hear either that, or you just yeah. That way I won't hear myself talking.
Echo, echo, echo.
Echo, because there's always a delay to that thing. It's a few second delay on the broadcast. You used Bees Live before. You used to use it. I was on your thing. All right, so we have our friend Sam Baltrusis. I'm going to bring him on in just a couple seconds here. I'm bringing you on, Sam. You'll be on 3, 2, 1. There you are. And I'm going to just rearrange this so we see you better. There you are. How you doing, Sam?
Hey,
Oh, I can't hear you, Sam. You got to turn your microphone on your headset.
Okay, yeah.
There you
I
go.
don't
Now
know.
we got you. Now we got you.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because this computer is a Chromebook, so it's kind of weird. But
Oh.
yeah, so we're talking about SB7, right, Jack?
Yeah. You were talking about the SB7. Why do you prefer the SB7 over the SB11?
Okay, so SB7 I use with the Estes method, which is it's the technique they used in Estes Park at the Stanley Hotel, where
Yeah.
you wear a blindfold, put the earphones into the SB7, and then you communicate with spirit using this technique, and it's been so
Right.
amazing. When I did it recently at the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast.
Oh yeah. Because I have seen the guys doing that before. We haven't done that on investigations, but yeah, it is very cool. I saw that. I saw that at I think your event one year in Plymouth Con, and the guys were doing it.
Yeah.
I remember right? That was pretty awesome. Because the people don't hear the question that's being asked that have the headphones on. They're just listening through it, and you're giving the answers to the person answer the questions from what you're hearing through the SB7. So that's pretty cool, and it works.
It works, yeah. And the only thing, like Carly, if you happen to do it in the future, just be really careful because what happens is you're kind of like channeling,
yeah.
and so you have to be really careful not to like when you start channeling that you push out the spirit. So you're basically giving permission to the spirit or the entity in some cases to use you as a conduit. So you're connecting. So it's very effective if you have some sensitivity, or if you're clairvoyant like Carly is, or like myself.
Right.
Jack is sensitive too. But you have to be careful though that when you channel that you push it out after.
Mhm.
Right. You don't want to end up
Yeah.
with an attachment, that's for sure, Sam.
Right.
You know all
And we
about
all have experience with that, right?
Mm,
a few,
yeah.
some of us more than others, but but some of us are just more open to it too. So it happens. It happens. But Sam,
Well,
you just had an intro. Did you guys use that? You were just down at Fort Mifflin. Did you guys use that?
yeah,
On the
we were about to use it, but then with that said, I have to be really careful because I saw a crawler at Fort Mifflin,
Oh, you
and
did. Oh,
there was something non-human or inhuman that I encountered. So I'm like, I'm not going to do the Estes method there because of the non-human or inhuman entity at Fort Mifflin. So it really depends on the location and the kind of state of mind that I'm in, as far as someone that has to go there to communicate with spirit.
yeah, yeah. Now again, you're using the SB7 for that, but what is the difference that you like with the SB7 over the SB?
Well,
Is the SB11 just giving you too much?
yeah, there's a laser, it's a data logger, all these different like gadgets that are part of it, and it's just like I'd rather have individual devices for all
Yeah.
the that the SB11 has. I want to use the SB Spirit Box for just simple spirit communication. The
Right.
sweeping the channels. That's all I want it for. The other techniques, we can use other devices like a data logger or like a laser grid, and have individual devices for what you need at the time.
Right. The original SB7 just scanned through two different channels at the same time. There's two different, like it do AM and FM or something like that. I forget what it was. But
Yeah.
even that I thought was could be a bit too much because you just get a lot of jumble. Um, I don't know. I didn't care for it. That was the older model even. Yeah, now
Well,
the new one's just like it's got all this extra gadgetry, and yeah, I agree with you. I don't like the extra stuff on it.
with
Um,
with SB7 Spirit Box, it really depends on the location. I found that I use it at the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast with Danny Perez and Lauren Perez. Now they just got married, and I haven't been a big Estes method, and we did it there, and I'll tell you it was phenomenal. But I've also tried doing it at other locations, like the USS Salem, for example, and
yeah,
it didn't work as well because of the radio frequencies, or really depends on the location.
they're on a big metal ship, so it blocks
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. A lot of signals don't get through. Even your cell phone is like, it's a piece of junk down here. Yeah, all
Hey,
that metal blocks a lot of signal. Yeah.
are you guys are going to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, right?
Yes, we are. We're going to be down there. Yeah.
Yay!
Oh,
I'm
you're
so
going?
excited.
Good, good, good. Yeah, yeah. Quite a few are going. Quite a few aren't going. It's all just depends on
Yeah.
individuals. I was just double checking on their current number of cases with all that down there. Even for that county, they've only had like 300 and some cases. So they haven't had a lot of cases of it down there. Matter of fact, my county, which is about the same size, has more cases than they had. So we were at 5 something, they were at 3 something. So I think the risk is fairly low, comparably.
And as someone, because I produced the Plymouth Paracon that we were talking about earlier, and it's one of those things we have to kind of watch the news every day, look at the numbers. How do we do these events and do them safely? And
Yeah.
I went to an event this last weekend that was awesome. It was a small group of people. It was with Mustafa and Daryl Marston from Ghost Hunters on A&E. And for example, when we walked in, they took our temperature.
Yeah.
Everyone did wear a mask, but the thing is, like, we took a picture without the mask, and people were like,
Yeah.
they were like, "Where are your mask? Where are your mask?" And we wore a mask the entire time.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you have to be safe, but you also need to live life too, and not live in fear.
That's right. Yeah, because we'll be wearing our masks down there and stuff too, especially during the event portion. And because when you're inside, things are much more condensed and
Right.
it can spread easier, stuff like that. Yeah, so we'll be wearing ours. We'll be bringing. I got some hand sanitizer. We'll be bringing that down too. It'll be all good. I can shake a few hands and still be safe. So things like that. So we're doing the same thing. We're all just going to be careful, be safe, and you'll be fine. It's like anything else. Use some common sense. That's all.
Have you two gone on an investigation since the lockdown?
Just the private case we were working on. which we talked a little about last week, right, Carly? It was, or was it the week before. It was an exercise. We actually performed an actual. Well, we didn't perform it, but our friend did, who's an exorcist. He performed an actual exorcism. It was an actual true possession case. I mean, true possession case. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before, Sam. You know?
Yeah, Carly, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm just look at my setup. I'm reading the comments. So
Oh, okay.
oh yeah, no, you're good. I'm just
But yeah, everybody was okay out of that. It was a long day. It took total. We had actually the mother and daughter. We had to do because it jumped at one point, and
Oh my God.
yeah, and so it was a total 13-hour day. But they're doing great. They're doing fine. I won't say who they are or where they live, but they're doing great. They're doing fine. They've reconnected with their faith. So, I again, it's almost it was almost like something you'd see on TV, almost like that.
Well,
A
when you
little
have,
bit different, no head spinnings, the pea soup stuff like that, but but it was very typical. I've been studying under. I don't know if you know. I've been studying under James Anito
yeah.
on demonology and stuff, and it's very much like what he's been having me read about by Father Amort and all these other exorcists of what really happens. And it was exactly like that. So it was like, wow, I never thought I'd really see. I mean, we do deliverances before. There are people who are affected by either negative spirit or even potentially something demonic, but they're not possessed. You know, so you're doing deliverances, which are much easier, take a lot less time, and you don't have the type of interaction that you have like with the true possession case. Um, Very strange. I mean, people would think these people were just crazy if you didn't know the signs and you didn't do all. As a matter of fact, James was actually in a way assisting us with that case because I talked to him about it and tell him what was happening, and he'd give me feedback on it. So yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting case. That's the
Well,
only thing we've done. That's the only thing. We haven't been going to like other events or anything like that. No.
well, what I'm getting though, with I didn't actually know about that, but I had a feeling something was up. That did you, Carly? Did you have any? Where did the entity try to jump on you?
no, well, not really. There was a moment where I was kind of staring it down, and I kind of felt like myself spacing out a little bit, but I knew
Right.
better to like push it away and say, hell no, not today.
Right.
That's not gonna happen. I've dealt with things like you for like 10 years. I know what you're doing. You can't do that to me. And it actually looked at me and it was like, don't play mind games with me. I'm like, no, you just no, you.
Yeah, there was about
No.
there's a point where we thought it was done. We actually left.
Yeah.
And it was fooling us. It was still with the mother, and the daughter, who we had performed on earlier in the day, was the one that called us up and told us you need to come back. In fact, she had warned us. She goes, "It's not going. I'm telling you, it's not going." We're like, "No, it's fine. Your mom's fine. Everything's good," but they will fool you to get you to leave. Matter of fact, they even took communion, and it will let that individual do that. So you'll just leave. And it came back, and we got back before the rest of the crew did because we called everybody back. Well, we're all still on the road. We had to turn around and go back. We were there for 15 minutes with it by ourselves before they got back, and it was out there. She had locked herself in her car. It was the only thing we hadn't blessed, so it was locked in its car. And it got out at one point and was making threats towards the kids and Carly and stuff like that. So we had some very interesting interaction with it at that point, where I stepped in between it. Interestingly enough. Or very strangely enough, when I stepped in between it, I mean, it's like a bully in a way. It backed away. And when I took steps towards it, it backed away. Now, I say it because it wasn't the woman at the time. You knew you were talking to the demonic itself, because it's basically admitted to it at that point, you know. But yeah, it was very interesting, and so yeah, you're a little on edge when you're just the two of you there, and you're outside, and you're like, you can't get this woman back in the house because it's refusing to go back in the house because the house was blessed. So but the whole crew came back. We had 7 of us total that worked that case that night, or that day, I should say. It didn't seem to try to. It may have tried to jump to 1 or 2 of the other people, but it didn't work. I think that's just because everybody there is pretty strong with their faith and their belief, and Steve, who was our exorcist, had also done blessings on all of us beforehand. So we were pretty well protected spiritually, which I always tell people it's very important. Anytime you're going investigating, protect yourself spiritually with whatever your belief system is. It doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as you truly believe in it and you ask for that protection, you'll get it. You'll be protected.
So this was a true exorcism and not a deliverance, right, Jack?
Yes, an actual full-on possession and an exorcism. It's for two people. It took 13 hours, and that was probably only due to the fact that in the end, when we brought it back in, the house was blessed, and it really couldn't do much at that point because as it was explained to me, it's not hallowed ground, but it's blessed ground. So. So the power of Christ is within the home now, so it really can't do very much. That was their faith, which is why we went with that particular faith. Because exorcisms can be done in different ways based on the people's religious background. So these people were Catholic, so that's what we followed for that. It was a Catholic rite of exorcism, which worked. It worked, but yeah, it was true. Yeah. And those are rare. I mean, they're very rare. We've been working this case for almost 2 years to figure out really what is really going on. It can take a while to just figure it out.
Well, I'm picking up, Jack, also there's going to be some like PTSD related stuff with you guys too. So just be really careful because what happens, it's like a residual energy that it will
we already went through that part. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I had a couple dreams. They were just dreams, but mostly what it was the exhaustion for about 3 days. For about 3 days after, even into the fourth day, it was still kind of like, you're dragged out. The energy is just drained out of you. But really, the PTSD part is mostly for the family. They occasionally, we still talk to them. We're still involved with them. We're still Carly does prayer with the daughter over the phone and stuff like that still. And they have nightmares where they see it in their heads, but they know it's just a nightmare. It's not like anything else. They get flashes occasionally of stuff. So they're suffering PTSD. They're also going to counseling and stuff like that still because they had issues they were trying to deal with before that. So they're still going to the counseling and all that stuff, which is good. We told them, keep doing that. And, they have a couple other people they can actually even talk to about what happened to them that are close friends that they can trust. So who believe them, because they act differently. You're not yourself. You're not that person when you are under possession.
Right.
And it is interesting. It's not schizophrenia. It's not bipolarism. It's a completely different thing. When you see a young girl's eyes totally dilate in a lit room, and she's not on drugs, she's not doing anything like that. I mean, and it happens right in front of you within seconds, because it did. And all of a sudden you're talking to something else. It's very interesting and somewhat frightening experience.
Terrifying.
You keep it under control though. You got to keep it under control. Because you can't let the mother there, because it was me, Carly, the daughter, and the mother that were sitting at the dining room table talking and going over some stuff. And it wasn't until I didn't tell her what it was, but I put a blessed medal in front of her. I said, "Here, this for you. I want you to carry it around." And that's when it changed. And was telling us to take it away. It wouldn't, I said, "Pick it up, give it back to me. I'll take it back." Those are tests. You do certain tests. Anybody else wouldn't know really what it was. A girl at that age, she was 16, wouldn't know what even that thing is.
Right.
But it knew. Immediately it knew. And you hear the voice change, and you see the eyes change, and it's very strange. Very strange.
The case that I basically had an attachment that was an entity manipulation that kind of mimicked a possession with me. So I kind of been there, done that, but it was really hard to differentiate whether or not it was actually a possession as opposed to an entity manipulation.
Well, a human spirit can possess for a very short period of time. Even if they're attached to you, they can try to possess your body, but
Right.
they can only do it for a very short period of time because they just don't have the energy to maintain it. So unlike demonic type spirits, inhuman type spirits, let's say, that can have an endless supply of energy. They can do it anytime they want, because they're not human, right? They never were human. They never will be human. But human spirits can. So sometimes when you have somebody who's had a very long, strong attachment, you will see their personality change, and that can be a partial or temporary possession of an individual as well. But they can't possess like a demonic can possess.
Well, with me, like I had physical manifestations, so I had my eyes did dilate like the girls did.
Right.
I this is not in the show Haunting that I was on, but I actually levitated in my bed.
Yeah.
Which is like, like I'm like, oh my god, like this is I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I had someone was in the room with me and they were like Sam, you levitated in your bed, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like that's insane.
That's a pretty stronger spirit then too. That's something. Yeah, if you're levitating, usually a human spirit can't totally make you do that. So unless it's a very old spirit.
It's very old. It basically was it was a spirit. It basically it was a murderer. So it was a very bad.
Oh yes, yeah,
It,
yeah. That's
it was
right.
an
I know what
entity.
you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep,
Well, hey guys, I have to go, but it was
All right,
awesome.
Sam. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for popping on.
Yeah, we'll have you back on again sometime for the show. The actual
Okay,
show.
sounds great. Have a good
Thanks
night.
for everything, Sam. You too. Have a good
All right,
one.
take care.
Bye.
All right, bye.
So Sam, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate that. Sam's a great guy. We're going to have him on the show just to chit chat and give his opinion on different things. But there you go. There's Sam's opinion on a whole bunch of different things. We love Sam. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
And we got to get him down to the Lookout House.
and he a little plug-in for him. He's a really good author, so you guys should go check out his books.
Yes. Actually, yes. Just look up Sam Beltrusis. I think all of his books are on Amazon.com. Probably also on BarnesandNoble.com. Check him out. He's written some great books. I got a couple words in a couple of them, I think, or at least one of them there.
He
But
wrote.
check him out. Check out his website. I forget what Sam's website. Sam, post your website on there if you're still on. And don't be afraid to tell people about your books in here.
Yes.
Great author, great friend. We greatly appreciate him.
Wicked Salem is a really good book of his.
Yes, Wicked Salem. Yeah. I think that's the one I'm in. I think for talking about that, I think he talks about that case in there. Yeah, very very cool stuff. Jenny, thank you so much. Jenny had posted this little tidbit about us. We greatly appreciate that, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
very much. Carl says, and if I've missed your question, I will go back up. I'm going to have Carly look back through for some questions for
I've been taking mental notes during the thing.
So Carl says, our friend Carl says, last night at a friend's house, we heard light tapping on his parked car window, but couldn't find the source. Oh, that's very interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. What were you parking there, Carl? Huh? No, he says his friends. Okay. I thought maybe he was out doing some. Never mind. Carl knows what I'm talking about. He just says a friend's house. We heard light tapping. Oh, it says his parked car. Oh, no, then he wasn't out there having a good time. Because I know Carl. If he said her house, I might say, really, Carl? It's funny. Just picking on you, Carl. Don't worry about it. So what do we got, Carly? What did we miss while we were all talking with Sam?
So Hannah Darling had a follow-up comment on her experience with her 3-year-old, hearing things through the monitor, her kid's chair going off. She says she just wants to know more. Her 3-year-old talks to people in his room at night and is just trying to explore this more.
Okay, so 3-year-old. Yeah, and they do see spirit. I wouldn't be too concerned unless things start to go a little haywire. If things do ramp up or if something does happen, you can always reach out to us or a paranormal team, or we'll try to hook you up with a paranormal team depending on where you live. If things do ramp up, that's good. Otherwise, I would say do some reading about it. There's different stuff you can look up online. there's people again with authors like Sam or a couple of our other friends who are good authors. Hey, Eric, Julian, I see you out there. There's a lot of good books out there.
Yeah. But my advice
My
for
own.
that,
I mean, I would tell you even one of my own will give you some more insight into
it's
it.
very true.
Yeah, yeah. The
Um,
paranormal research book will give you some more insights into it. Um, but Sam's books, there's a lot of reading you can do out there.
oh yeah,
Just keep researching. Read. The best thing I can tell you to do is read. Don't take everything for face value, though. Read up from different sources and kind of draw your own conclusions about things. And don't just go by what you see on TV, because TV is about entertainment. Um, and so be careful about saying, "Oh my God, I've got what happened on this TV show." TV is about entertainment. Remember that. Not that some of the shows don't talk about real evidence and stuff that they capture, but not everything is demonic. Not everything is evil. We tend to run into that stuff just because of the fields we work in. Richard S. Stepp. Thank you, Eric.
yes,
Julian.
yes, yes.
Richard S. Stepp is another great source for reading with regards to hauntings and spirits and things like that. Richard S. Stepp, Sam Beltrusis, myself. There's quite a few out there, but look them up and pick up a couple books. Some of them are even available in the libraries and things like that. So, look
Michelle
up
Bellinger too.
Miss Michelle Bellinger. I mean, I could name them all. I
Yeah,
mean, you get um, oh my God, my mind just went blank. Godfather of the Paranormal. You know what I'm
I
talking
see
about.
his face, Johnny Zaffis.
Johnny Zaffis. Johnny Zaffis put out many good books.
Yes.
Not all just about haunted items either. So yeah. Read. That's the best thing I can tell anybody out there to do. Read a lot of different sources. Draw your own conclusions. Yeah, you said Michelle Bellinger. It was one of the first books I read was hers about spiritual protection and the Ghost Hunter's Survival Guide. By her was the very first book I really, in regards to real paranormal stuff, that I read when I was getting into investigating. So great book. And Chris Sanders, yes, you, Sam, Carly, and maybe a couple of other friends, we should probably book the Lookout House B&B this year and go down and stay and just investigate the place. And
I'm down for that.
yeah, I mean, we could have a great time. You get 4 or 5 of us down there, or however many. If we book up the rooms, it's not that expensive, and we could have a good time. Chris, I'm down for that with you.
Yeah.
Yep, you and Sam. I'm down for doing that. I think it'd be a good time. So
So
we
anyway,
should plan that.
Hannah, I just want to put a little something in.
Go ahead.
If there comes a time where you feel like it's really impeding on your 3-year-old sleep, and you kind of don't really want them talking during certain times of the day, or it's starting to get a little uncomfortable, don't be afraid to set boundaries, because you can go in and politely and respectfully say, hey, talk to him like human to human. Please don't talk to my son during this time at night. He needs to get his sleep. Just, or maybe take it easy on the play if something happens. Just don't be afraid to set boundaries, because just treat them as if, like an imaginary friend. Treat them like a friend, like your son's friend. Say, hey, look, here's the ground rules, respectfully. And it works. It worked for me when I was younger with my mom. My mom had no idea what was going on when I was a kid. She thought I just had an imaginary friend, but I was up at night, all night. She came in and she was like, okay, that's it. You need to leave. And she didn't come at night anymore, so
Yep,
it works.
Set boundaries. That's right.
Yep.
And Terry says, our good friend Terry Egan, I have a friend that recently passed. Her family donated some of her organs. Is it possible for those that received her organs to possibly have sudden similarities to her? There is a theory, Terry, that yes, that can happen. Because part of the spirit of the individual is still attached, not the whole soul, but part of the soul is still attached, or the memories is still attached to the organs of an individual. Some people have said that they've had that experience who have had transplants. Others never experienced anything. I think it's an individual thing, and whether that person was very spiritual in life as well. Um, so is it possible? Yeah, I would say it is possible. Does it happen a lot? I would say no. But then again, we don't get a lot of feedback on that. If people are experiencing that who have had transplants aren't really talking about it much. So yeah. What about you, Carly? What do you think on that?
No, I think it's true. It's a very intense procedure. You're giving your kind of life essence to somebody else so that they have a chance. And you're saving somebody else's life. So that's huge. And those are the one surgeries I've actually never done. It's very, very intense and very, transplants, procurements. It's very emotional, and it's a very, I would say, very spiritual time also. Um, a lot of the people try to actually reach out to the donor's family to, and it's very special to the donor's family as well to, get to kind of like hug a little piece of their loved one. It's very intense. So,
yeah, it's a very.
I wouldn't be surprised
personal and
if it
spiritual
actually.
thing. Yeah.
I'm an organ donor.
Nobody wants mine, trust me. Yeah, they do. I actually am an organ donor myself. Ken LeBond, my friend Ken LeBond says, we at Syracuse Paranormal, everybody's talking about SB7 spirit boxes again. We'll have to try the SB7 with this method. The one we were talking about earlier that Sam was talking about. Yes, Ken, it's a very interesting thing. I was there to witness it. I have never just tried it on investigations, but I probably should. And it is amazing how well that works. The person wears headphones, is listening to the spirit box. The person can't hear the questions the other investigator is asking because of the headphones, and they only hear what's coming through the SB7 box. So they just tell you what they hear in the SB7. They don't even, anytime they hear a word, they just say it. They don't even know if you've asked a question or not. They just say the word. And it's amazing the responses that come through to the person asking the question. You just don't want to do that for a very long time to somebody. Sometimes you get carried away and you don't realize an hour has already gone by. That person is like droning out with that static coming through their ears. Yeah. I wouldn't do it for more than an hour. I wouldn't do it more than an hour with an individual.
And it can be pretty draining too, because
it is very
Like Sam said, it's a form of channeling as well.
Yes, so remember that when you do it. Don't do it for a long period of time. Limit it. Limit the person who's doing the listening to it. And you are channeling in a way, so be careful with that too, of what you're channeling. But it is a useful and successful form of spirit communication. Not always. I've seen it tried in other locations and nothing happens. So it just all depends. Oh, Michael Keane. I'm sorry. I was just reading something by Barry Martz, and I'll put this up. Michael Keane has some great books, too. There you go. There's another great source for reading material. There's a lot of great sources of reading material out there with regards to the paranormal. Again, people, read. It's very important that you read.
Read multiple ones, not just one.
And Eric, we will let you know. I'm going to get in some talks with Sam and Chris, and remind me again how many rooms you have available there. I want the Americana room again. That's what I want.
Yeah, that was cool.
Although I'd let one of our friends have it too.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a reminder from either Pam and Steve or from you, Eric, on how many rooms are available down there. Whatever we're going to do, we're going to want to book the whole place. So just so we have it to ourselves. And they're great friends. I mean, you guys are all great friends of ours, Eric. We love when you're there too, and investigating with you guys too, and just hanging out with you. It's always a good time. It's always a lot of fun. We miss you guys. We had planned to come down just hang out, but we couldn't make it. But uh, we love you guys. We really do, and we want to come down and hang out with you again. But yeah, I'd love to just. That's the thing about it. Not do an event. Just go and hang out with some friends and do some investigating. That's sometimes the best thing you can do, especially during
Absolutely.
times like this. Because we could also spend some time down at Gettysburg itself and hang out at the battlefield and stuff, and just make it a weekend away. It'd be awesome. I think it'd be awesome, and just have some fun with some friends, with Eric and Steve and Pam and have a couple other friends over during the day and stuff, and hang out and chill and it'd be a good time. We guys, Sam, Chris, we need to do that. We really need to do that. We're kind of doing that later this year down at the Hinsdale House with our friends Bob and Carl and some other friends from our Paranormal 101 course we did last October. We'll also be doing that. I'm still trying to sort all that out. So we'll be doing those courses again. I'm still trying to nail down the investigation location, and I keep not hearing back from them. And I gotta get with them and narrow that down and nail it down so we can do that, because without that investigation piece, it's kind of useless to me, anyway, to do the course.
Mm-hmm.
Investigation piece, as Carl and Bob would tell you, and even Donna would tell you, it's a very key part to the whole uh, course, is that investigation. Matter of fact, they wanted to do more. I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Which is why we are doing more later this year. We're going to be doing more investigating together. So it's all good, and it's all very cool. If you guys got any other questions, let us know. I know we're at 9 o'clock, but we tend to even run over. So usually we do. Carly's like, yes. But sometimes I like to just do an hour. It was always planned as an hour show. Half the time we do 2 hours.
But it flies by so fast. We got to do it to what feels like an hour.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying we're done here, because we can keep going as long as you guys want us to keep going. But I will do my selfless plug. If you like, you can find all my books, as the scrolling banner says below. You can find them on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Just look up, when you go there, do a search for Jack Kenna. And yeah, you'll find all my books will pop up. Even my comic book. Don't forget, I did a comic book. It was very important for my kids that I did a comic book, and it's really,
And that's awesome.
it was. It was
very
based on
well
one of
done.
our cases. Yes, it was based on one of our cases. I think it's personally, I do think it's well done, and done very respectfully in regards to that case. And it's called The Forgotten Souls of Bay Path. It's connects to Bay Path Cemetery in Springfield, Mass. You can actually visit that location. It is a pauper's cemetery. It was in use for, oh my God, up from the 1800s up into the 1950s, late 1950s. So there's over 1,000 people buried in this little plot that's not even the length of a football field, or size of a football field. It's about half the size of a football field. So yeah, it's an interesting story, interesting case. So that's Hauntings, Ghosts, and Demons is the other book that I have, which talks about several of our cases as well. And then, of course, the last book, which is the book I teach from, which is Paranormal Research, Comprehensive Guide to Building a Strong Team. But it talks about a lot of things, including talking with spirit. So thank you for posting that link, Carly. I see it up there.
Yeah, no problem. Barry asked where it was, so I just posted the link to the Hinsdale, or not the Hinsdale, the Lookout House.
Oh, very good. Yeah, yes, very interesting place. Yes, very. Nick has a question. I'm just going to pop it up here. Question: currently making a Unity video in response to COVID-19. I'm adding many investigators' names across the country and around the world. is it cool if I add both of your names into the credits? Nick, reach out to me privately and we'll talk about that. And I don't like to just respond to those things online. I like to know a little bit more about your project and what you're doing. But I'm sure we can. Well, once we know more, we'll talk about it. I doubt it will be a problem. No, we're not going to look for money or anything like that from you. I just want to talk to you. We want to talk to you, get to know more about it. So maybe we can even do a phone call. But reach out to me on private messenger. Tell me more about what it's about, and we'll talk about it. And yeah, I always try to back all the good stuff that other investigators and you people are doing out there. As a show of, I'm not a big para-unity person, I'll be honest. I believe in action, not words. I just never cared for the word para-unity. It's just my thing. It's not that I don't believe in what it's about, but I just believe in not really putting a word to it. Just let's work together. This is why we do this show. If you want to talk about things being like para-unity and stuff like that, and I'm not putting any buddies projects down. Para-unity is a great thing in itself. And this is why we do this show, because this kind of is really about para-unity. We're bringing us all together to talk about all the things of the paranormal, share our ideas and our thoughts, and answer each other's questions. It's not even just me and Carly trying to answer your questions. You have these other people in the forum that you come on every week, and they give you their insights, just like Sam did tonight, just like Barry did tonight, and others, and we share it amongst ourselves. This is para-unity, if you want to call it that, right? It's sharing our thoughts, ideas in a very peaceful, respectful, and caring environment, if you want to call it that. Making it sound kind of artsy, but
well, this is a safe
space. Don't go safe spaces with me, all right?
Well, no, I mean, like in events and stuff, like paranormal events. You can't just go out.
It's a kind of a space.
And gosh, I know. Gosh, I know it. You can't just go out and talk about it, and everyone's like, "Look at that crazy person over there."
I do it all the time. Hey, I would have thought people at my work would have thought I was crazy, but you know what? Turns out all those, many of those engineers, not all of them, but many of those engineers and technicians are really into this stuff too. You wouldn't think it from engineering folk, but they've come to me with things that have happened to them and asked me about it and talk about it. They think it's some friends I've known for decades now. I went to college with. I think it's awesome that I've heard them talking about me. And I say, "You talking about me?" "Yeah, Jack, we talk about you because you're the only one that's on TV of all of us." So I just laugh. I said, "How long have you people known me? Really? Really? You've known me forever." And you talk about it's funny. I just find it funny. But we do talk about it. I mean, we do talk about these things at lunch and stuff like that. And they'll come to me and ask me about stuff. And many of them have had experiences. But it's just something you wouldn't think of it from that part of the world, the engineering world, which is very scientific. But yeah, they have experiences too. One of my friends who was over there, he's retired now. He's a PhD. Last type of person who you would think be into the paranormal was really into the paranormal and wanted to try to find out more at the time and stuff because his own experiences he was having after his mother passed and stuff. And he would even work. He was very into the electronics and sine wave stuff, and we'd talk about how this could relate to investigating the paranormal and things like that. And he was very interested in it. So yeah, awesome. People of all, everybody from any field can be interested in the paranormal, and this is a place we let you guys come to talk about it. We know there's people out there who even come in and listen, and they're not really believers. They just kind of sit and listen in the background, and that's cool. You don't have to believe. We're not here to make anybody believe anything. I'm not here to convince you of anything. Neither is Carly. We're just here to share our experiences, our knowledge of what we know based on our own experiences and what we've read and studied and stuff with you. You make your own decision for yourself. We're not trying to tell you what to do or what to believe in. and that goes faith-wise too. I'm Roman Catholic, but I'm not here to push that on you. Yes, when we did the exorcism, that had to do with the Roman Catholic faith because these people were Catholic. If they had been Jewish, it would have been a completely different type of thing that we would have done. We would have called in a rabbi um, and worked within their faith. I mean, that's what you have to do. You can't nail everything down to one faith and one type of belief system. Um, I hate to use the term religion because religion talks really about the organized portion of a faith or a belief. It's not the essence of it. It's the organization of it. So you have to work within these people's faiths and beliefs, so that it can work for them. Because if you're doing something they don't believe in, it's probably not going to work anyway. Um, I would like to have on sometime if he would ever do it. I have to reach out. I'd love to have John Zaffis on to talk about that because he's done so much work in that type of thing. He was one person I really kind of talked to about a lot of that stuff at one time and read his books in regards to that and different faiths and different beliefs. I would love to have him on sometime if he ever would. I would love to. I know he's a busy guy and he has stuff, but it turns out, him and I have some similar backgrounds in what we did for a living. So, yeah, and I never knew that about John, but that was very interesting to find out when he was talking to me one day, and it was a good conversation. He's a good guy. I really like him, and I've learned a lot from him. And I kind of fanboy around him. Yes, I do. It's true. Hey, look,
Hey,
I've
it's all right.
known Zaffis for decades, just like Ed and Lorraine Warren. I keep going on about all this, but yeah, Nick, I know he is, and yeah, he's become a decent friend of mine. I wouldn't say a very good friend. I don't know him really, really well, but we've had conversations, and I can talk to him if I need to, or reach out to him if I need to. I know there's a lot of people out there that are very good friends with him. Um, he is very interesting to talk to. He's a man of a lot of knowledge, and I have a lot of respect for that man.
He's the godfather of the paranormal
For
for a reason.
yeah, and he's got a lot of common sense too. There's a lot of common sense there, and remember that. Keep common sense in the paranormal. You know, um, think about why things can happen a certain way, or maybe why could somebody be possessed by a human spirit? Why could, like in Sam's case, how could a human spirit possibly levitate an individual while it's taking them over? There's a lot of reasons for that. It doesn't mean it's demonic. All right, so there's a lot of things out there that can happen um, that may not be something that's demonic, and there's other answers. We've had many cases like that where somebody's being hit, scratched, punched, seeing dark shadow figure, and I turned out it was a friend of his reaching out to him because he was doing some stupid stuff. And it was just the way they were. They were the tough guys in Cape Cod at one time. They were rough guys. These were not. Um, you could almost say they were part of a gang kind of thing, and they were rough with each other. And this is what the spirit was doing because he had died in his early 20s and he'd been murdered, as a matter of fact. But he was still looking over his good friend to tell him when he was being stupid or doing stupid things. And that's what was going on in that case. And yeah, it was rough, but it's the type of guys they were. So it didn't happen to anybody else in the house. Nobody else was hit or had things knocked out of their hand or anything like that. The wife and the two daughters didn't, but he did because it was his friend. And we found that out that night we investigated. Very interesting who comes through. So just because things are happening that seem um, rough or seem negative isn't always the case. Once we got the message across, and he knew what his friend was referring to through what came through, but we didn't. He understood. He stopped doing it, and all the activity stopped. So that was his friend's way of, you're being stupid, straighten up, fix your life. And he did, and everything stops. His friend still looks over him to this day. So not everything's demonic, not everything's evil, not everything's cruel. Um, think of it, take things in context, think of what's going on. Just like I'm sorry, Carly, what was her name again here tonight? That's her son is seeing um, the spirit, and she's having activity. Again, I'm sorry, I got so much going through my head. Um, oh, Hannah
Yeah.
Dorn. Hannah, yeah, it doesn't sound like you have potentially something going on there, but I don't think it's anything negative from what you're telling us. Um, Sometimes some things aren't paranormal at all. We've had people reach out to us who talk about different things that have happened to them, or things they think are going on around their neighborhood and stuff like that. And it's not paranormal related at all. And sometimes people don't want to hear that. But when I don't see, you reach out and I don't see anything connected to anything paranormal, I have to tell you that. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. So would Carly, and anybody should. Be honest with people. If you don't think there's something really paranormal going on, tell them that based on the information that they provide. Sometimes they don't. They're not telling us everything, but we have a form, a 13-page form. They really want us to look deeper. Fill the form out, send it back to us. We'll take a deeper look at what's really happening. Again, we'll always give you an honest opinion, because you have to be honest with people in this field. You can't make stuff up. You have to be honest with them. Even sometimes if they're going to get angry with you because of it. Get angry with me then. I'm sorry I can't tell you what you want to hear. But I'm going to tell you the truth from what I believe is the truth. Maybe I'm wrong, but from my perspective, from our knowledge that Carly and I have, and the rest of our team that works with us has, we will tell you if we think something paranormal is going on or not. We'll tell you if a photo you send us is potentially something spiritual or just dust orbs, or potentially bugs, or you're taking a picture outside at night and there's a lot of moisture in the air and you see all these lit up little orb things. It's probably just the moisture that's in the air. They're not spirits always. And I know people don't always want to hear that, but that's the truth. It's very rare that I've seen something in a photo that makes me hesitate and go, what the heck? And we really look into, we look into all of them the same. We give them all the same amount of treatment. But you got to remember, when you reach out to us, I've been doing this for a lot of years. And if I'm not really sure, I'll send your photo to somebody else to take a look at and give input on, because I know other people have been doing it even longer. But usually, I've been doing this so long, I know what's in that photo. I can see it. I've seen it many times over and over again. And we've even early on, we weren't sure about things, so we'd really look into it and talk to people like Jason and Grant and with their years of experience that they had even before us, and ask them their opinions and ask others. And that's the best thing you can do. And if you're getting the same answer from multiple people, guess what? That's probably what the answer is. But yeah, just always do your research. Reach out, do the best you can. And if somebody tells you it's something, don't always take the first answer. Even from me, if you think it's something else, reach out to somebody else too. But we'll always give you our honest opinion. Is what it comes down to, and that's all anybody can give you. That's all anybody should give you, is an honest opinion in this field. So that's where I'm coming from. And Barry says he's an electrical technician. See, I'm a mechanical technician, Barry. So
I'm a surgical technician.
Yeah,
We're all technicians.
technician. Yeah, it's all these technical fields,
Or
right?
technologists.
Yeah, and it's funny how they cross over to a lot of this equipment and stuff we use.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys got any questions out there for us, ask us. I see Steve White said something. He laughed about Oak Island. It's one of my favorite shows there, Steve. Yeah, but no. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not cutting off early because Oak Island is not on right now. Forgot, Steve. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. No, Oak Island. No Oak Island. Not even reruns. Yeah, people know when Oak Island is on, it's on Tuesday nights. Yes, I'm off at 9. Carly may stay on, but I'm off at 9 because I want to watch my Oak Island. It's one of my few little vices, I guess, is watching Oak Island. It's off season right now, so don't worry about it. We got time.
Yes.
You guys, any got other questions? Throw them out there. Carly, you got anything you want to talk about specifically before we maybe see what we're going to do next?
I don't know, really.
What does everybody think about Carly's background color tonight? There you go. She's got her color going. She got blue. Was it blue?
Yeah, blue. I think the remote. Nope, the remote. Yeah.
I didn't tell you to change it. I just asked people.
I know, but I got options, man. I got green.
I know green.
I got red, yellow.
There you go. We can do a
light blue.
What's everybody's favorite color for Carly night? We'll do that. What's everybody's favorite color for Carly? You know, everybody must have
all of them.
Yeah, I guess.
We can have a dance party over here. Someone said blue. Okay.
Blue's their favorite color for you. I'm sure everybody has a different favorite color.
Yeah.
There might be some matching.
Yes.
Bunch of techies here, Barry says. Yes, you're absolutely right. I know John Zaffis is a techie too. Then we have our friend Keith Bailey, who is a firefighter. I don't think he's on here tonight, but when he's on, Mary Goose says purple. She likes purple for you.
I changed it.
Purple is a royalty color. Barry says he likes red. He likes red for you. But Keith Bailey is he's retired now, but he has 30 years as a firefighter, which gives you a lot of background information, or a lot of what we do for a living can really assist us with being better investigators. And it's important that we use those backgrounds, our career backgrounds, to assist us in being better investigators. It doesn't automatically, just because I've got 35 years as a mechanical engineering technician for the Department of the Army, doesn't make me a paranormal investigator right away. But I've had a lot of experience in that time with not just equipment, but with building teams. I did have to used to build engineering teams together to work on various projects, and I was in charge of that. Finding funding, I did that. But just knowledge of the different equipment and stuff. Every piece of equipment I use in the paranormal, I used in the work that I do. So all this stuff helps, you become a better investigator, and you rely back on that. Even my side jobs, I used to do videography. Anybody remember the old days of videography, VHS, and filming weddings and stuff like that? Those are the days of VHS. I used to do that for a living, which is why I have a lot of.
I was around for that.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience. Yeah,
I remember now.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience with video and stuff like that. That's why I've seen different anomalies and different things. Photography too, I did that. Computer, I used to run my own little computer tech side job. Rensselaer Internet Services. I used to train people in computers. I used to upgrade computers. Used to do a lot of work with different programs and stuff like that. So I've got all this knowledge that leads over to the paranormal now, which is why we use these programs and stuff to reach out to you guys. He says, the old-fashioned stuff. Yes, that's how old I am, Nick. In my day, that was not old-fashioned stuff. That was latest state-of-the-art crap back then. You're talking the 80s and 90s, really. So I did all that, which helped me to do what I do now. Even hunting and fishing has helped me to be a better investigator. A lot of patience. gotta have a lot of patience for all those things. You have to have a lot of patience being a paranormal investigator. You got to do your investigating, and you have to do your searching, and you got to look for the subtleties of things that are happening around you. You have to listen. When you hunt and stuff, you got to listen. It's not just sitting in the woods and shooting stuff, right? That's not how it works, or wandering through the woods. You got to listen, you got to look, you got to do that as a paranormal investigator. You got to listen, you got to look, be aware of your surroundings, what's going on around you. There's a lot to it, and all these things have led me to being, I guess, the investigator I am today for this. I no longer hunt anymore. I can't because of my back. I don't get to fish as much as I would like to, but I still love fishing. I see, and Barry is just posting something that's got posted up here. I find that interesting about the connection of the paranormal to ley lines. Yes, still trying to understand this. Yes, and that's something a lot of people are still trying to understand. How does the paranormal relate to ley lines?
And that is a question Bob had earlier.
That run under it. Who had that question, Bob?
Yeah, he said, do you look into whether a ley line is near a location you are investigating?
No, not always. Sometimes I do. I tend to, I'll be honest, I tend to forget about that, and I focus on the case itself. Because you got to remember, a lot of what we're doing is just to try to help people. Although that should be part of maybe what I look at is ley lines. Is there something affecting that particular area? What I used to look a lot at was seismic anomalies, seismic activity in an area. That has a lot to do with activity in different locations because of the energy, the earthquakes, even minor ones, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 on the Richter scale, can give off. We found that in a location in Massachusetts, more than one location in Massachusetts, that were right on fault lines. Yes, they have fault lines out there. People don't realize that. We don't get a lot of earthquakes here on the East Coast, but there is fault lines all along the East Coast, and in certain parts in different states, they are considered fault lines. So I have looked at that, but yeah, ley lines is a good idea. Bob?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's awesome.
Yeah. This is something we should maybe all consider looking at when we're doing a case.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, yeah, here's what Barry says. That's why I practice yoga. This goes back to the other thing we were talking about. To be in the present moment. Yes.
Yeah.
Good point, Barry. Yep. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's good grounding, too.
Yes, it's a good grounding technique, actually. Yes, you're correct. So all these things that go on, all these things that happen. So, but you know what? Unless you guys got any other questions, I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We always love having you. We always appreciate you.
Yeah.
And again, Nick, reach out to me on private messenger if you have already. I haven't looked, so and I will just tell me more about what you got going on, and we'll talk about it, and that'll be fine for regards to Para-Unity. And what else is out there? I'll just put this up from Barry. They're intersecting ley lines in the Auburn, New York area. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. And Nick talks about we got the New Madrid fault line, which is where Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And those do create activity, even those, or they help feed activity, I should say, even those minor earthquakes. All right, everybody, we're going to let you go for the night. Everybody have a good night out there. We love you all. Thanks for tuning in again. We'll be back again next week. And we'll let you know if we're going to have a special guest or if maybe one of you will be our special guest for the day. And actually, Bob Burnell, Haverhill is where one of our cases was where we ran into seismic activity during an investigation. We actually captured what they call earthquake lights.
Yeah, plasma lights.
Yeah, the plasma lights. They call them earthquake lights during the investigation. We have that on video. That was actually in one of our, I think, one of our cases that was on Haunted Case Files.
Should be on your website, right?
They are on our website, yes. If you go spiritsofnewengland.org, if you want to check out any the different thing we've captured, different video, different audio, anything from different investigations we haven't updated in a while, but we have a lot of interesting evidence out there and stuff out there. Check it out. Go to spiritsofnewengland.org. That's spiritsofnewengland.org. You can check all that stuff out and any events we've got coming up that we're doing. And we'll see you all again soon. We love you all. You guys have a great night. And always, again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of our show. And remember, you can also catch, if you didn't catch the show tonight, or you haven't, if you've missed past shows, you can catch them all on our YouTube channel at Paranormal Q&A with Jack Kenna and Carly Hall on YouTube. Just go there, go to our channel, check it out, and you'll see all the past shows on there and get to see some of our past guests as well. And thank you again, everybody. Have a good night. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good night. See you next week.
See you next week.